You ever wonder how massive, complex apps are actually built? It can feel like magic, right? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on a fundamental secret of how all software is really made. The thing is, it's not about starting from scratch. It's about a core principle that separates the pros from the amateurs. So, what's the big secret? Let's dive in.
And this quote, it pretty much nails the core idea. The best programmers, I'm talking about the people who build the apps you use every single day, they don't waste time building every little thing from the ground up. Nope, they get that most common problems, they've already been solved. The real magic is knowing how to find and use the right tools that are already sitting there waiting.
So what are these tools? Well, they're called built-in functions. Think of any programming language as this giant, fully stocked workshop. And inside, there's a massive toolbox, just filled with these functions. Each one is a specialized tool, ready to do a specific job, whether that's crunching numbers, messing with text, or whatever. It's like, why would you forge your own hammer when there's a perfectly good one right there in the box?
And you know, this toolbox isn't just some messy pile of stuff. It's actually organized really well. You've got your tools for numbers, those are the arithmetic functions. Then you have your tools for text, which programmers call strings, and of course there's a spot for everything else. All right, to really get a feel for this, let's grab a couple of tools and see what they can do.
Okay, this is a fantastic example of why knowing your tools is absolutely critical. Here we've got two functions that seem pretty similar, but whoa, they give you totally different results. Let's take the number 5.99. The round function looks at it and says, yep, that's closer to 6. But the truncation function, it just takes an axe and chops off everything after the decimal, leaving you with 5. See that? One tiny choice, a completely different outcome. It all boils down to what you're trying to do.
All right, let's switch gears and look at a text tool. This one is the length function. Its job sounds super simple, but trust me, it's absolutely essential. It just counts the characters in a piece of text. But here's the thing, it's meticulous. It counts every single thing, every letter, every number, every space, and all the punctuation.
And when you actually use it, the code is ridiculously simple. You just give it the text, in this case RonsTechHub, and boom, it spits out the number 13. And get this, it even counted that sneaky space at the very end. That's how precise these things are. All that grunt work of counting, done. Just like that.
Okay, another must-have text tool is called concatenation. Now that's a bit of a mouthful, but the idea is super simple. It's just about joining pieces of text together. Programmers do this constantly to build messages on the fly, like saying hello to a user by their name. And in a lot of languages, you just use a plus sign. Yep, the same one you use for math.
So let's see how this actually works. We've got our separate pieces. Hello, a little comma and a space, the name Alice, and an exclamation point. By just adding them up with plus signs, we build a brand new complete sentence. It's literally like snapping together little digital Lego blocks to build exactly the message you want.
So okay, we've looked at these individual tools, functions for numbers, for text, but just having a workshop full of tools doesn't mean a house is going to build itself, right? You need a plan, a blueprint, and that gets us to the bigger picture. How in the world do programmers take all these thousands of tiny, powerful functions and wrangle them into the complex apps we use every day?
And that right there is the million-dollar question. A real app isn't just one giant to-do list of functions. It's a structured, complex system. And to manage all that complexity, programmers don't just start typing code. They start with a master plan, or what's known in the biz as a paradigm.
So what exactly is a programming paradigm? Well, it is the blueprint. It's the high-level strategy, the whole philosophy that a programmer uses to organize everything. It's the architectural style that lays out how all the pieces are going to fit together and talk to each other. And this is where things get really cool, because this is the real architectural thinking. The procedural style is like a recipe. You just follow the steps one after the other. Super straightforward. Then you have object-oriented, which sees software as a collection of interacting objects, kind of like a car object that has a color and knows how to drive. And finally, there's event-driven programming. This is the big one for most apps you use. The program basically just waits. It waits for you to do something, like click a button, and then it reacts. Each blueprint is designed for a totally different kind of problem.
So, you see, picking your build style, your paradigm, that's the thing that turns a jumble of code into a slick app you'd actually want to use. We've gone from the tiniest little tool all the way up to the master plan. All right, let's bring it all home and lock in the main takeaways.
So, that big secret we talked about at the beginning? Here it is. Great programming is not about reinventing the wheel. It's about knowing your toolbox, for sure, understanding what all those built-in functions can do. But the real pro move, it's being the architect. It's about picking the right blueprint, the right paradigm to organize all those tools into something structured, efficient, and powerful. So, the next time you fire up your favorite app, I want you to think about this. What's going on under the hood? Is it working like a simple checklist? Is it a whole world of digital objects talking to each other? Or is it just sitting there, patiently waiting for your next move? The answer tells you everything about the secret blueprint its creators used to build it.